There are millions of Roblox games out there, but these are some Roblox FPS games that you need to try. From run-based games that will test your skills to realistic COD-style games that are impossible to stop playing. With that, let's get into it. Starting off with Pizza Game, this roguelike run-based FPS puts you in the shoes of a pizza delivery person with the task of destroying anything and anyone who gets in your way. Wandering through this decimated and burning town, you'll come across enemies that will try and stop you from delivering that pizza. From civilians with pistols, lunatics with pipe wrenches, and divine beings that can fly. But even though you start with just a pair of pistols, you'll come across different weapons like shotguns, katanas, and some really strange weapons that will absolutely tear them apart. As you go through each stage, defeating enemy after enemy and completing different scenarios like ambushes and stages, comes a boss who will truly test your skills and how well you can maneuver each attack. But once you manage to defeat the boss, they turn into a mini boss that becomes much easier to eliminate. After each stage, you can earn perks like extra ammo capacity, more health, and more by simply donating souls to the ominous creature that appears once you complete a stage. But that's not the only place you can get perks. Each stage has a shop where you can spend a soul to roll for a perk, sometimes getting armor, ammo capacity, etc., and sometimes getting absolutely nothing. There's also vending machines where you can throw weapons at it for a chance to get something even better. Overall, this game is an absolute gem that you need to try out, and I'd easily rate it a 10 out of 10 for its roguelike elements and incredible style choices. Moving along from that, the next game is called Firefight, a semi-realistic tactical FPS game where you can choose from 3 different game modes: free-for-all, team deathmatch, and zombies. This game offers a wide selection of weapons to choose from, as well as different nations that you might end up fighting as. In these mid to large size maps, there's a wide array of areas to run around in and try to find enemies, but this game rewards those who don't sprint full speed into a group of enemies and die in 2 seconds. If you either wait in a strategic position or simply roam around as silent as possible, soon enough you'll end up behind the enemy and take them out with little resistance. Or you can be like this guy and try to rush me with a knife. Alongside more indoor based maps come outdoor based maps, but all these maps can also be set at night, meaning you'll have to swap between night vision in order to find the enemies that might be lurking in the darkness and not try to spray the enemy with every bullet like you've never held a gun before. While this game doesn't have a lot in terms of unlockable items and customizations, if you're looking for a military style tactical FPS game, this one is the one to go for. As for my rating, I'd have to easily give it an 8 out of 10 for its mechanics and gameplay elements and overall fun to be had. Enjoying the recommendations so far? Well, make sure to like and subscribe so I can learn what you want to see more. After that tactical time, we move along to something a little less tactical: Reinfected, a co-op zombie survival FPS game that's surprisingly addictive for how much stuff it has at the moment. This game will have a campaign and main story over time, but for the moment it seems to still be somewhat campaign based, allowing you up to 50 people to try and complete the tasks these story characters give before you start. Before getting into the match, you can select from a number of weapons, which range in cost and level requirements further down you go, and each weapon is customizable in one way or another. Once the match starts, around 3 players are chosen to start as the zombies, with the task of taking down the survivors before they can complete their given task. Being a survivor is incredibly difficult, however, because if you don't have armor, the zombies can easily one-shot you and everyone else, leading to the zombie army growing as soon as we start the match. However, being the zombies is quite fun, using a variety of spawn areas close to the survivors, sneaking behind them, and eliminating them. But I do feel like the zombies can get quite overpowered really early into the match, since most basic zombie types start with 400 HP, which can lead to someone needing a lot of bullets to come close to eliminating said zombie. Even though this game lacks in some FPS elements, with some models being not the best, this is still a great zombie survival game, and the fact that you can have up to 50 people makes it that much better. In its current state, I'd easily give it a 7 out of 10. It's a super fun and addictive game to play, and you can gather all of your friends to have a super fun time. Moving away from that, the next game is called HyperCam, a body cam style FPS game that puts you and up to 14 people in close range maps with the task of eliminating those on the enemy team. Each time you spawn in, your weapons get randomized, so sometimes you'll have a weapon that's completely bare bones, and sometimes you'll get one that's decked out and ready for anything. This game is super tactical and not a typical FPS game where you want to be sprinting around. Every shuffle of your legs while crouched, every footstep on the wooden floors, and every ruler can be heard quite clearly, so if you aren't incredibly careful with your movement, you can easily end up being caught by the enemy and eliminated. While this game doesn't have any customization options or many options in general, this is still a super fun game to play if you're looking for something that really gives you the feeling of being in some form of battle. But this game does have one issue, mainly where the view model will sometimes get a bit wonky and not look right, causing you to lose track of where you're aiming and eventually get eliminated. But aside from that, this game gets a solid 8 out of 10 for its gameplay. While it isn't perfect, it still gives off such a great body cam vibe and offers a truly tactical experience. Now it's time for Riotfall, a much beloved game for myself and many, and is one that I've featured on the channel before. This game offers a ton of customization options and unlockable attachments for weapons, from different optics, barrel attachments like suppressors, brakes, and more, different weapon grips, stocks, and underbarrels to make your weapon perform even better than before. While the weapon selection isn't an incredible amount, there's still a lot of stuff to unlock in terms of camos, attachments, and more. The game modes are pretty standard. There's quick play that takes you into varying maps into TDM game mode with a 6v6 format, while the other 2 are free-for-all and 2v2s. While this one is much less tactical than some of the other games that we played, feeling a lot more like your standard FPS game on Roblox, it still has some of the best graphics I've seen for a Roblox FPS game, and could even be matched up against some more modern COD games and feel pretty similar. The game overall really gives off a classic Modern Warfare 2 style, paired with the night and day maps, tons of unlockables and customization, as well as the fact that all of this is contained in beta, leads me to give this game an easy 10 out of 10. The only downside I have about this game is that there aren't more people playing it. So there you have it. That's 5 Roblox FPS games that you need to try. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also leave a comment as to what games you might want to see next. Consider becoming a member by hitting the join button down below to gain access to a bunch of different perks, as well as a spot in the end member credits at the end of every single one of my videos. Thanks again for watching. I've been Meeko, and I will catch you in the next video.